it's approaching the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? Here is a showcase of a unit you really haven't heard about in probably a long time, since honestly it lost a lot of relevancy. But since the DokkanFest Piccolo is the Rivals category lead, and these guys fall into that category, I figured it'd be a good occasion to test out how these guys do on this Rivals category. Now, they were also on the Joined Forces category as well, but I think, you know, in the overall team building, I think this particular category is a little bit better in terms of overall team building for these guys. So we'll just kind of see how these guys do and go from there. So as always, let's start with the stats and we'll go from there. So again, this is the Super Agility LR Tien Chiaotzu unit. Leader skills, all types, attack and defense increase 100%. Super attack, 12 key, it causes colossal damage with a rare chance to stun the enemy. And then the 18 key will cause mega-colossal damage with a chance to stun the enemy as well. Passive skill is an attack increase of 10,000 when key is 8 or more, defense increase of 10,000 when key is 11 or more, plus an additional attack and defense increase of 10,000 when key is 14 or more. And if you look at the links, you're going to understand why it's a little bit easier to potentially build a team off the Rivals category versus the Joined Forces. So these guys have the Z Fighters link skill, that's attack increase of 15%. Crane School's attack of 500, Dodon Rey's attack increase of 2,000 when an SA is launched, Mastering Pupil, +1 key, Shocking Speed, +2 key, Shattering the Limit is +2 key, and Legendary Power is attack increase of 5,000 when SA is launched. So 3 categories, World Tournament, again, Joined Forces, and Rivals as well. At 100% potential, these guys have HP of 19,866. Attack is 18,723, and defense is 13,926. 12 key multiplier is 140%, whereas the 24 key multiplier is 200%. I'm sorry. So again, these guys, I think, in my opinion, definitely do a little bit better in terms of linking up with the other units on the Rivals category versus the Joined Forces. Of course, with the Piccolo unit, you are seeing a substantial boost overall. It's 170% to Namekians for all the stats, and then Rivals category gets 150% across the board. So it's a decent enough boost for, you know, these guys to be tested. The one thing I will say about this particular unit is you really do have to bring in a lot of passive support with key boosting, you know, support, basically, because even though you can configure some pretty good links like Shattering the Limit and Shocking Speed and whatnot, these guys are going to need that passive support with the key, because they're going to have a hard time otherwise getting the 18 key super attack. Now, if you're strictly just looking at it from a 12 key standpoint, you're not going to struggle too much, but again, Shocking Speed, Shattering the Limit are pretty important ones that are pretty common enough to where a lot of units do have it, even on this Rivals category. Now, for the Z Fighters link skill, remember that is an attack increase of 15%, and a lot of these units do have that, like Super Vegeta, the Piccolo unit or Kamikoto unit also does have it, as well as the LR Yamcha and Puar unit. So in terms of the passive support, you do have Super Vegeta, that he provides agility, strength, and physical types +2 key, attack and defense increase of 25%, on top of having Shattering the Limit as well as Z Fighter, so that certainly does help. Android 17, of course, provides all allies with key +3, as well as the defense increase of 60% as well. The Piccolo unit, of course, the only real links that he shares with the LR Tien Chiaotzu is Shocking Speed and Z Fighters, but at least you do have Shocking Speed where that adds +2 key, along with the Z Fighters attack increase of 15%. And then the Super Saiyan Blue EZA Vegeta unit does have Shattering the Limit on top of providing, you know, the attack and defense increase of 30% with the passive, as well as a super attack ability to increase allies' attack by 30% as well. The only problem is this particular Vegeta unit doesn't provide a key boost as passive support. So unfortunately, in terms of that standpoint, Shattering the Limit is really the only key boosting link skill that he provides for the team. Now for the LR, Yamcha, and Puar unit, pretty much Shattering the Limit as well as the Legendary Power are the link skills that they do share with the Tien Chiaotzu unit. So of course, you know, from the grand scheme of things, this is really meant for a showcase with for Tien and Chiaotzu. So the team building's a little bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say odd, but it's more feasible toward maximizing their potential. So of course, the team building options are very diverse within even this category. So certainly a decent amount of options here and other ways to go about it. But for these guys, I mean, it's just mainly from a curiosity standpoint how Tien and Chiaotzu would do on the Rivals category, because of course it's not only a brand new category, but they haven't really been in the limelight too much, you know what I mean? They've been kind of, in the shadows a little bit. Personally, I only use them as the leaders for the Hercules, daily statue event or whatever you call it. Really, that's the only time I use them, because they are in the World Tournament category, plus they provide attack and defense increase of 100%, even though the leader skill definitely hurts them a lot. If they got some sort of key boost, you don't necessarily need a HP boost. I think they would have been okay if they at least had, a key +3 boost along with the attack and defense increase of 100%. I think they would have been a little bit more manageable, but the fact that, they don't even provide a key boost with the leader skill definitely does hurt them in terms of relevancy. But the other thing too is the Prime Battle LRs, the free-to-play LR units. For some reason, they keep going with the flat rate. Even the newest Prime Battle, LR First Form Cell is a flat increase to attack or defense, and they kind of keep that format going. But hopefully, eventually down the road, they do change that to some sort of percentage base instead of a flat number. I think that would definitely help them out a lot more. But overall, I think in terms of these guys on this particular category, as long as you provide some sort of passive support with the allies with the key, I think they should do relatively well. Again, there are a fair amount of units that do have the Z Fighters lead skill, so that certainly does boost up their attack stats a little bit as well. So overall, it's definitely doable in terms of building a team around them, but in practicality standpoint, I'm not sure if they're the best unit to include on a team. Obviously, there's a lot of better units on even this category, so it's kind of like they're definitely lower on the totem pole in terms of units you'd want to pick for a team. But again, it all just comes down to curiosity and see how these guys would do. By the way, Piccolo's super attack animations and transformations or active skill, they're definitely sick. I mean, it's really nice how they're continuing to improve, the visuals for the game. I think it's a good thing, and hopefully they keep on improving. And we'll see what kind of units come out, in the future. The possibilities are pretty much endless in terms of how good they can make them. Like all the new units that have come out recently, they look great. So they're making the older units look kind of bad, And I doubt they're going to update the animations for the older units. I think what they would do is just bring out new units and make people spend money on it, and why not? They know they can get away with that, so that's probably what they're going to do. But again, in terms of the units themselves, LR Tien and Chiaotzu, they're not bad, but they're definitely lower on the hierarchy of units you would pretty much include on a team. But again, this all just comes down to simply seeing how they would do on this new category and see how honestly they would mesh with the rest of the units on it. So it's been interesting to see how they do. Good thing is type advantage coming up against Jiren, so you'll be able to see the maximum damage output along with the attack stats that on average they are able to put out. So this is unfortunately going to be the 12 key super, not enough key again. This is why these guys need a lot of key boosting passive support, really. Even with Vegeta on rotation, where he at least provides +2 key, along with, I think it was Shattering the Limit, which is another +2 key. It still can be difficult to get these guys to get an 18 key super. So ideally, you do want like 2 units on rotation where they provide some sort of passive boost. or you get lucky with the orbs on the field and simply just collect enough. Now, in that case, of course, there was only 2 of the blue key orbs as well as rainbow key orbs, so it definitely does depend, I guess, how lucky you get with the field and how many orbs you have on the field or whatever. But I think it's doable with this setup for sure. So we'll close out with the Dokkan mode attack with type advantage against Jiren and see how these guys do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. A little bit of a unique showcase of a unit that hasn't been around, or it's been around for a while, but not in the limelight as much nowadays. So thanks for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys later, I guess. All right, peace out.